I'm Steve.
And I'm Tracy.
And we are the Partners at War. We're back.
We are.
Yes, we are. We know we haven't filmed in a while. We haven't put anything out in a while. We're hoping, knock on wood, that horrible 2 years of COVID might be beyond us and our lives won't be dominated by that. For those who don't know, we're educators. And it absolutely has dominated everything that we've done for the last 2 years. But we've been back in tournaments.
We have been playing a lot.
Playing a whole lot. Seeing everybody once again. It's been great seeing everybody. Last weekend, one of the most major events, Adepticon, getting to see so many players. How many AOS players were there?
I think they said 220, but I don't think all 220 were there.
So, one of the, probably the largest tournament we've been at. That LVO maybe, the Open, but still, big tournaments. And let's highlight right away, what's that around your neck?
I was fortunate enough to win Best Sports.
Best Sports at Adepticon.
I was so honored. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Playing dragons. That really shows that it were fun games.
They were fun games. I had an amazing time, and all of my opponents were just so great to play against. And I think I was just so jazzed to be back across the table. You know, just so excited to be playing again. Yeah,
it's been great. Want to thank everybody, the energy, the enthusiasm. We made this channel to try to promote people playing at your local game stores and at tournaments. If you haven't flipped that switch yet to come to tournaments, come.
Do it.
Do it. Without any further ado.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
My Noddler, IDK versus
Stormcast, and I am playing Hallowed Knights.
Fight! Here's 1,995 points of Idneth Deepkin Noddler. I have taken the grand strategy, Dominating Presence. My heroes, the Achillean King, the dreaded, much talked about Achillean King, with the command trait Unstoppable Fury and the bladed polearm, which is pretty much what everybody's taking. I am taking the Arcane Tome as my artifact with Flaming Weapon. From 0 to hero, we have Lotan. 115 points of great ability. He's got a wound buff around him. Achillean King has a hit buff around him, but he's also pretty good in combat. It surprises a lot of people. 3 battle line units of a Leviathan, since it's Noddler. A unit of 20 Reavers. Very scary. 10 Thralls. 4 separate units of sharks. They are not battle line. I will explain in the game why I really like having 4 separate units. 2 of them are in Hunters of the Heartland. So outside of the turtle and the 2 sharks and the Hunters of the Heartland, this is 1 battle regiment, so I have 4 drops. And of course, the boat. And that is it. 1,995 points of Idneth Deepkin.
I also have 1,995 points worth of Stormcast there. I have a 1-drop battle regiment, and I'm taking Scions of the Storm. This is under Hallowed Knights, and the reason I do that is because I have Gardas in here. Gardas gives me a 5+ ward for everybody wholly within 12 inches. I have a little unit of Aether Wings to run some screens for me, and then I have the Knight Azros, who gives me a nice benefit of being able to choose a unit to be +1 to hit them. That way if I get roared, I don't have to worry about all-out attack. My general is the Knight Draconis there in front. He has a command trait Master of Magic, which then obviously you can guess I have the artifact Arcane Tome with him, and he has the Celestial Blades as his spell. There's a mount trait on him, Celestial Instincts, which means that I can retreat and still shoot or charge if I need to do that. My unique enhancement is Final Thunderstrike, which means that at the start of the combat phase, I can choose a unit to do their blow up on 5+ instead of a 6+ when they die.
Oof.
Yeah. Then I have 3 units of the Stormdrake Guard. I have 2 units of 2 and a unit of 4. And that makes up my whole 1,995 points.
What's your grand strategy?
My grand strategy is Beastmaster to keep any dragon alive.
Because if you don't, you've probably lost.
Yeah, I probably lost anyway, yes.
We've got two partners I want to highlight today, and I will provide the links to both of these companies in the description of the video. One, Mats by Mars. We used this on a previous IDK Deepkin fight, but they sent that to us, and we're going to use that once again. matsbymars.com. Great maps. You'll see that throughout the game. This is a perfect IDK map. And brand new, we got asked by Baron of Dice to kind of showcase some of their dice. Now, we don't do sponsorships. We're not monetizing. We clicked that for a while since YouTube's putting ads, but I've turned that off. We're not doing this for money. But if somebody does have a high quality item that they might want to showcase, send it to us and we'll put it on. Baron of Dice has these custom dice. These are for the Fire Slayers. You've got Chaos, Corn. I like the Medusa heads on the Daughters of Cain dice. I really like the Gloomspite dice. We've got our Iron Jaws and nice little orc head on the top of there. My favorite are these Nighthaunt dice. I'm really hoping the new book is great, and I can see me playing Nighthaunt again, and these are gorgeous dice for the Nighthaunt. And Tracy's a little excited about seeing some dragons on these Stormcast dice.
Yes, I like those.
So that's baronofdice.com. We'll use those throughout the game at times. We're playing Power Struggle out of the General's Handbook. This is the one with 5 objectives. You see the deployment zones are just the 11 inches up. You score 1 point if you hold an objective for 2 turns or more.
2 of your own turns.
2 of your own turns or more. You score 2 points if you hold 2 or more objectives for 2 turns or more. But you do score 1 point if you control more objectives than your opponent. That does not say you need to have them 2 turns or more, the way we're reading it. So therefore, that is one you can score right away. And none of them are prime. So at the turn 3, one of them can go away. I also put out the shipwrecks. After we determine sides, before armies were deployed, they have to be in my deployment zone. I can put them as one big ship. If I get that, I can garrison 10 models inside of it. Separate ships, I can only garrison 5 models inside of it, and they can't have mounts. So that would pretty much just be a hero that would garrison in the small ships. But each of them gives a 6-inch, 5+ ward to all of the Namarti, to these small guys, to the Reavers, and to the Thralls. This is a tough call. It always is in these games. I dropped 1 shark.
1 shark.
To make you drop everything.
All in 1 drop, yep.
And
everything's battle
you castled up with Gardas in the middle.
I did, hopefully to give them the 5+ ward bubble. Except for these guys.
Scary Aetherwings over here.
I left them all out on their own.
I, of course, dropped everything within a 15-inch bubble of the Leviathan. I did not say when I was putting the army, his mount trait is the reverberating carapace. So his +1 save goes out to 15 inches. So you're going to see that a lot with IDK, with a turtle and a 15-inch bubble around him. And then I love the individual units of sharks, because if you come in, you have to shoot the closest unit, because I'm IDK, and you have to waste shots at individual units.
Yes.
See that in combat too. I had 30 Marauders charge 2 sharks, and they had to split their attacks between the 2 of them, drop 1 to 1 and 1 to 3.
Whereas
that definitely would have killed one
yeah.
and gotten the other one down low if they didn't have to split attacks. You had a tough call. And right away, Gardas, I could tell when you put Gardas on the tabletop, you were going to make me go first.
Right. So typically, if I'm going to do that first turn move in my hero phase, I'm going to keep Gardas off in the sky, Scions of the Storm, and drop him near them once I'm out. But because I think that this is going to be better to pull you out, I'm going to go ahead and start him on the table to give me the buff.
And potentially go for the back-to-back. You would go second, and then maybe you go first in turn 2. And in the games we've played with these, it really comes down to who wins turn 2 priority roll is like the entire game.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of that in the meta right now. That's a side note. That's one major change in the game, is how to lessen the importance of turn 2 priority. Even though we're fans of priority roll, it's just so many people can do so much damage nowadays that turn 2 becomes everything.
Right.
Whoever
well,
wins that
you're already half your army down after
yes.
the end of turn 1.
And then, of course, with me, turn 3 is everything, because if you don't know IDK, in turn 3, I get high tide and everything fights first.
Right.
In turn 1, my entire army gets cover under the tide. Now, this little guy right here, he's an Ishrian. He can give me 1 ritual a game, and that makes each tide uber tide, a strengthened tide.
Uber tide.
The turn 1 tide ritual is that you cannot shoot the entire IDK army unless you're within 12 inches.
Right.
Okay. Turn 2 ritual is that I can get +1 to run in charge, because the tide ability for the entire army on turn 2 is I can run in charge or run and shoot. I have to pick that ritual now. I am not going to pick the turn 1 ritual because your shots are 12-inch shots. So you would be within 12 inches anyway.
Yes.
And cover means nothing because your shots do mortal wounds anyway. So that's a good thing you've got against me. So I'm going to pick the turn 2 ritual, which is when I run in charge, I get +1 to my run in charge. Those are some things you need to know when you're playing IDK. But you've decided to let me go first and weather the storm of shooting, which there's a lot of shooting in this
hard in first turn. I am. I'm. That's just. But I was gonna get hit hard anyway. So I'm hoping this is the way to do it.
This scary block, 40 shots at 18-inch range. You've pretty much made you so far back that they're not going to be a threat in turn 1.
Right.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But turn 1, I will be going first.
All right.
IDK, turn 1, battle tactic. I'm going to go with Ferocious Advance. I'm going to pick the Reavers since they're pretty much out of range. Lotan and the Achillen King. Then let us roll for our heroic action. I'm going to roll for a command point on the Achillen King. He does not get it.
I'm going to do mine on Gardas. And he does not.
He does not get it either. And then I have a spell. Arcane Tome. This is, I'm going to actually do Mystic Shield. I'm not going to do Flaming Weapon because I don't think I'll be in combat with you. And that is a 5. That went off on a 5. She's not within range to unbind. So I'm actually going to put Mystic Shield on the Reavers. That is the end of my hero phase. I want to highlight you control an objective at the beginning of the game if you start a unit within 6 inches of it. So at the beginning of the game, you can start on an objective and move off, and you do control it. It's the only time you control objectives at the start of the turn, unless it would be in a scenario, but I've not seen that. I ran the Thralls up, I rolled a 4, and they had a 12-inch move easily, just ran up to take that objective, moved everybody else forward, ran these 3 right here to get Ferocious Advance. And now we go to the shooting phase, and this is where IDK is very strong. Each one of the sharks has 4 24-inch shots. Yes, the nets were great in the old book. The nets are still good that you can't pile in, but the harpoon damage, that's 4 shots at 3/3 -1 D3 each. The turtle has the exact same harpoons, but 8 shots at 3/3 -1 D3 each. So that'll be 24 shots. Surprisingly strong anti-shooting army and shooty army.
I know, this is going to hurt.
One of the negatives to having 4 separate shark units is all out attack, all out defense. Doesn't work as well, so I'll save that for the turtle with his 8 shots. The first one's shooting into this unit of 2. These are 3s. 1 hits.
1 misses.
Oh, 1 misses, sorry. 3s. -1 rend.
All right. I'm not going to use all-out defense, so it's a 4. And I saved all 3.
And you saved all 3. Yuck. The second shark will shoot into them. 3s. 3 hit. 3s. 2 hit.
Or 4s. And save both.
Yuck again. Other shark will go into that unit of 2.
This unit.
There's 3 hit. 2 wound.
All right, let's try it again. 4s. Oh, saved 1.
1 goes
went
through. 4. 1 wound.
Okay, and I get that 5/6 shrug from Gardas. And they do take a wound.
I did a wound.
You did a wound.
Did a wound. And the last shark. 2 hit. 1 wounds.
For a 4. Saved.
Darn it! Now I will spend 1 of my command points. I had 2. I will go down to 1. And I will 8 attacks with a shark into the front unit of 2 right here.
All right, that one I will all out defense.
Okay. So those 2s all hit. So all 8 of those hit. There were 4 2s. That was the right command point to spend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so I'm back to 3s. And all but 1.
4. 1 wound.
All right, come on, Gardas. Nope. Just takes the 1.
So you were all frightened of that,
I
and you took 2 wounds.
That could have been awful. But I'll take it.
You'll take
I'll
it.
take it.
I am not charging, so now let's just talk about points. I get the 2 points for my battle tactic.
Yes, because you ferocious advanced.
Once again, you do not score these unless you control them for 2 consecutive turns, but I do get the 1 point for having more objectives than you, because that
Right.
happens at any point in time. So I have 3 points at the end of turn 1.
All right.
What are you choosing?
I am going to do broken ranks, and I'm going to choose your thralls. They're just tastily sitting in the middle, waiting for me to come chomp them.
You're going to kill them anyway, so you might as well get the points for them and not lose
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
is it. And then I am going to try to do the command point for my heroic action. And this is going to go on Gardas. And he does not get it.
I'm going to do that on the Killing King.
And so then I have 1 spell that I'll do, and that is the Celestial Blades. So we will go ahead and it's a 5 to cast, and I do get a reroll because I'm Master of Magic for
And
my
I'm
command
outside of
trait.
30. You
So
got
it
it.
is a 5. Okay, so these guys will get, my unit of 4 will get +1 to their wound rolls.
Ugh.
Yeah. I am going to do, once per game, my Storm Drakes get to do a hero phase move. I am going to move my 2 units of 2 in the hero phase up, and then on a 2+ I can choose to try to charge.
Both of them or just one?
Both. That's the ability is that you can move 12 inches in your hero phase and on a 2+ charge.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this. We played these guys a couple times. It's really set up for whoever wins turn 2 priority. You're going to come up, be aggressive. You're going to shoot. You're going to come in. I'm going to fight back. If you go first,
In turn 2.
in turn 2, I feel I'm doomed. If I go first, I have all my reavers shooting. I control the charges. I can get him in there, and he can do the high tide thing, and he can get tons of bonuses to his damage. This really is coming down to turn 2 priority. Decided to move them all their 12-inch move, and now you're going to charge with this one?
2. Yep, let's try that one.
8 inches,
On a 2+.
and on a shark.
Well, on a 2+.
On a 2+ first.
Yes.
You got it?
Okay.
8 inches.
No.
The other one? He gets to charge.
And I got a 10.
Oh, how far can they go now?
Now we'll see.
It might be able to get into the shark. She charged in this side. Once again, it's in the hero phase, so therefore I can't unleash hell. I probably wasn't going to anyway because we saw how amazingly effective these shark shots, the 4 shots, were against them. But one reason I know that we talked about Tracy's going this way instead of straight in is how scary this guy is when he can get in the center of multiple units. So by her spreading out, she faced his fury where he had 11 attacks. Basically came down to 2/2 -3, 4 damage with the flaming weapon.
Right.
And he just destroyed a unit of 4 Storm Drakes.
Pretty handedly.
Pretty handily. So she came over here to spread that out a little bit to lessen the impact of him. Advice when you're playing IDK, do not group up with the Achillean King. He gets in there, he gets an amazing number of attacks. Scary stuff. You're so intimidated playing these guys, and I'm sitting here going, all those mortal wounds, you roll 5s and 6s, this is going to be a really short game. But you move them all up. You ran Gardas up.
I ran
auto
Gardas
with a
and
command
auto
point.
6, yep.
So he moved up 11 inches,
And I rolled for the Azros.
and he rolled a 1.
I rolled a 1.
He still got up where he needed to be.
Yes.
That's a unit of 2. That's your unit of 4. That's a unit of 2.
And then my hero.
Oh, the hero.
Yeah.
So there's the unit of 4.
Yes.
So now it's time for you to shoot. Now, each model has to shoot at the closest Adepticon model.
Right.
So when you're playing against IDK, picking the order of who you're saying shooting first is incredibly important. She's going to go with a 4 into the thralls, because if she kills them, then the others will have to go at the sharks.
Right. Then I'll have a more open
People might think,
choice.
well, 3 of those are within 12 inches of the turtle. Nope. All the sharks have to also be removed first before you can shoot into the turtle.
Because I have to shoot at
Shoot
the closest.
at the closest. Yes.
All right, so if you're unaware of how the shooting works with the Storm Drakes and the Draconis, I roll 1 dice per dragon, and on a 1-2, nothing happens. On a 3-4, it's D3 mortal wounds, and on a 5-6, it's D6 mortal wounds.
And you've rolled a lot of 1-2s.
I have rolled, but I rolled some 5-6s and actually done 11 damage or so.
Did you do like 21 damage and kill Kragnos with
I
this?
did kill Kragnos, 28 damage.
28
yes.
mortal wounds. All right. Battery died on the camera, so I don't know if we got this epic roll against my thralls, by the way.
Well,
against the thralls.
It could. It still doesn't mean it's going to be amazing. It just
isn't.
simply means that it's got the potential for
She
being
rolled
amazing.
3 6s and a 3.
So this is going to be 3d6 plus d3 wounds on the thralls.
Yeah, they're dead.
Ready?
Here's a D3. 1. 3 dice 6. There is.
9.
That's 9, 10. They have no ward right now at all. They're more than 6 inches away. So you killed that unit of thralls.
With the unit of 4, nice.
With the unit of 4, so you get the 2 points for the battle tactic plus 1 for the monster.
Yep. So this unit of 2, their shots will go into this shark here. And this one misses.
And that does.
And this
die
is
3.
D3 for 3.
For 3. All right, when you're going against IDK, it's per model. So in this unit of 2, that one's closer to this shark, that one's closer to that shark. Your Knight Draconis is closer to this shark.
Right.
So they're the same attack, so just roll them together and then roll him into him. So 2 dice into that shark.
Okay, into the outside shark. And 1 misses, and 1 got D3. So for 2.
2. And then 1 into the other shark.
For D3. For 3.
New addition to the Partners at War family, just over a year ago. But Henry is a rescue. And boy, he's latched on to Tracy.
I get to walk over him every time I try to move the board.
Tracy's first going to charge with this unit of 2 into this shark. She'd like to get it long enough to get around here, to get within 3 inches of the Reavers, to force the Reavers to unleash hell on the unit of 2, freeing up the unit of 4. When they charge into this shark, if they get big enough to get into the turtle, the unleash hell option's gone.
Right.
So that's why going with the 2 first, you need the sacrificial units to be able to absorb unleash hell.
10.
We'll give you exactly what you want. Tracy went this way. We did measure. That is getting her within 3 inches of them. So this is my 1 shot to unleash hell. I will use the unleash hell. Measured them all, and 4. The last 4 are not within 6 inches of the dragon. So that's 16 at 2 shots apiece. 32 shots. -1 to hit the unleash hell, but on their war scroll, they're +1 to hit if you're within 9 inches.
Right.
So that evens out. So it'll be 32 shots at 3, 3, -1, 1. Aha, to make it easy, took 4 dice out, 32.
Hey.
Those hit, those did not. We're 12 wounds at -1 rend.
All right, so since -1 rend, I have 4s to save. So 1, 2, 3, 4 damage.
Wow.
All right, so he had 8 on him, and now he will go down to 4.
This unit needs a 6. There's a 1/2 inch and a 6. It does touch. And we checked on the other side. It's the exact same distance over here. So it needs a 6 for a successful charge. You have 1 command point. Fail this one.
Let's not. 6.
Oh, just got it.
All right, so for my Knight Draconis to get in, he'd need an 11.
And not
he's
happening.
short.
You gonna use command point?
I think I'll
Are
save
you
it.
sure?
Yeah, I'll save it.
All right, interesting monstrous rampage sequence right here. These 2 are hunters, so she can't come over here. You are going to do what? You're going to stomp and roar?
Right.
Now, I'm outside of 3 inches. Can I still use the monstrous rampage? The answer is yes, because in the book, you get to pick a monster and use a monstrous rampage. Roar, Stomp, Titanic Duel, those all have the range limitation. But the Noddler ability to carry out the monstrous rampage to give him -3 rend on his 2 attacks doesn't have a range requirement. And in the book on section 21.1, Monstrous Rampage, it doesn't say you have to be in combat or within range just to use a Monstrous Rampage. Therefore, he is carrying out his Noddler Monstrous Rampage. His 2 big attacks are -3 rend right now.
Ouch.
that is where he can be ouch.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I played a 3-game tournament, a 1 day using Fueven, and I brought the turtle with a -1 rend. Against Stormcast and others, it's just like shooting BBs off armor at times. If you really want him to be a killing machine, you've got to go with Noddler and give him the -3 rend. But carry out your stomp and your roar.
Okay, so my stomp. Nope.
Nope.
My roar. Yes.
Yes.
So he cannot
So he
use command.
is roared.
Okay, so these are my 2 riders. 3s and 3s.
All right, there's the hits.
And then 3s. 2, 4, 6 at -1.
They have a 4+ save with the cover and the turtle buff. It goes to a 2+, so they're at a 3+ right now. And I'm going to use some of the orc dice. Did you say there were 6 of them?
6.
1 wound.
And then the dragons. These are also 3s and 3s. So 4 at -2 rend.
This goes back to 4s. And I failed 2.
And those are 2 each.
He is down to 1 wound. This one is the most injured, so I will go over here into that group of 2. Tracy has decided to all-out defense with these 2, thinking she's just sacrificing that.
He's
to
got
those
4
2 here.
wounds left, and I don't think that he's
And
gonna
these
survive
guys are going to get the
those.
buffs from Lotan. One of them will get the buff from the Achillen King. He has 6 attacks, 3/3 -1/1. Those are the little riders on top. And I'm going to use some snake dice, some of the Daughters of Cain dice. They all hit. 3 at -1.
So we are still at 3s. And
All 3 miss. Those are 1 damage each.
okay.
So he goes to 5 wounds. Now the Sharks have the best lore ability in the entire game, and that's Bloodthirsty Predators. They get +1 to their attack's characteristic on their bite if they are biting a unit that's lost units this turn or is previously wounded at all, if blood's in the water. You were wounded by the shot,
Yes.
so I get an extra attack on the bite. So these are 4 at 3/3 -2/2. 3 hit. 3 wounds, -2 rend. Come on, come on. Choppy, choppy, choppy.
4s.
Chompy, chompy, chompy. Chompy, chompy.
2 go through.
4 wounds.
And that leaves him at 1.
Tracy's piled in 2 of the 4 here and 2 of the 4 there. Remember, they have a 3-inch cohesion. I am going to all-out defense on this one because he's got more offensive. And he's going to be buffed more.
Okay. And I
So I'll use
specifically
my
stayed
last command
outside
point.
of range of the turtle.
She specifically stayed outside of 3 inches of the turtle because she's a little frightened of the turtle.
-3 rend is tough.
And 4 damage a pop with the fins.
Yes.
And
I would
yeah,
rather not deal with that if I don't have to.
I probably good call. Little riders up top.
Yep, 3s and 3s.
No, that did not do good.
All right, and 3s. That wasn't bad. So 2, 4, 6 at -1.
They're at +3 to the save, but with a base 4, the best I can do is a 3+. And 2 go through.
At 1 each.
He's down to 3 wounds.
And then here's my dragon attacks.
These are scary.
3s and 3s. And 3s.
4.
4 at -2.
Once again, -3 rend, so I'm still at 3 pluses. 1 goes through.
At 2.
He will have 1 wound left.
Both
Both of them have 1 wound left. He'll have 1 wound left, and 1 wound left, and 5 left.
And I still have these 2 to go on.
And you still have those 2 to go into this other show.
Right.
These are 3s and 3s again for the riders. Wow.
And 3s. 2, 4, 6 at -1.
This will still be at a 3+ because I'm at +2. Once again, that's because of the turtle bubble, and I'm in cover in turn 1. Oh, there's 3 wounds.
And then the dragons. 3s and 3s. I like seeing those
Pretty good.
dragons. 4 are at -2.
This gets back to my 4 because I was at +2 rend, so this is a 4+ save. 2 go through.
2 each.
Let's get that on film. Right there.
I may have had just thrown a little hissy that I didn't kill one
When she
shark.
figured that she did 7 wounds to the shark.
And that leaves 3 sharks with 1 wound each, which I believe is exactly what you said, why you like having the multiple small units.
And for everyone that is watching, this is why I love MSU with the Sharks. 1, 1, 1, 5.
And I did forget that I get +1 to my wounds, but that's okay.
Oh, you forgot that.
Yeah, I did forget it. But I'm happy with where it went out, and I'm not going to re-roll with the chance that it gets worse, so.
I'll start with this guy first. He gets his 6 attacks at 3, 3, -1, 1. Those all hit. Those all wound. I am liking the orc dice.
How many?
6, -1 rend.
4s? I do not like my paw dice right now.
Ooh, that's 5.
2, 3, 4, 5. 5 wounds?
Yep, so 1 is dead. He would have had +1 to wound. You forgot yours, I forgot mine. I'm sorry about that, but just to highlight to everybody who's watching at home saying, I didn't get +1 to wound because he is within 12 inches of Lotan. Lotan has a 12-inch bubble of +1 to wound for all Idnith. The Killing King has a 9-inch bubble of +1 to hit for Achillean units, excluding mounts. So the sharks do not get the +1 to hit. He's the only one that's within 9 inches of him, but they're both within 12 inches of Lotan.
Okay.
So I am going to give him +1 to wound on these bites, which this is 4 attack, 3, 2 now, -2, 2. And 3 of them miss. Those are -2 rend, 2 damage. 1, -2 rend.
5s?
And you save it. She's going to go with the 1-inch attacks into this one, but she's splitting the 3-inch attacks to try to kill this one with 1 and there. So she's splitting those 2. Those 2 into that unit right there. The one with 5 wounds. Can you get him down to 1?
Stop.
It'll be all 4 of them with 1.
I need to get one shot.
It'll be like it'll be like a shark Yahtzee.
All right, ready? 3s and 3s. And 3s. So 5 at -1.
These will be at 3 rend because he gets cover and he's within the bubble. And I saved them all, like the orc dice. Shark with 1 wound.
With 1 wound, 3s and 3s. So all hit.
That's not good. That's not good.
3s to wound. 2 at -2 rend.
So this is back to 4s. Come on, orc dice. Got them
Oh.
both.
All right, and then this is for the other one.
2 of these are going to wound, so he has 1 wound left.
Shut up. 2, -2.
So this is to 4s. I'm going to fail both these, and he'll have 1 wound left. Nope, failed 1. He has 3 wounds left. I'm going here. He is going all into this guy right here. He gets +1 to hit for his first attack and +1 to wound for both. So these are 6 attacks at 2, 2, -1, 1. 1 failed. 4 at -1 rend.
4s. Lost 3.
So 3 wounds go through.
Okay, so he'll be at 5.
And 4 attacks. These are not +1 to hit because they're mounts. So 3, 2, -2, 2. Oh, only 2. -2 rend.
5s.
Oh
no!
no!
Yay me!
Last guy to go will be right here. I am going to pile in, and the reason I am is piling in, I will get within the 12-inch bubble for +1 to wound. 6 attacks at 3, 2, -1, 1. That's not good. Orc dice failing me. 2 at -1 rend.
4s. No, my paw dice are not doing well.
So you took 2 wounds.
No,
The
right
unit
now.
4 has no
No.
wounds. And since I have to declare out at the beginning, the fact that my first attack gave them wounds does not mean I get the extra attack on my bite. I'm down to 3 attacks with the bite on 3, 2, -2, 2. All 3 hit. 2 wounds at -2.
5s. Saved 1.
2 more damage. Let's read this ability that your nasty Stormcast have.
Okay, Blaze of Glory. If a friendly Stormcast Eternals model is slain within 1 inch of an enemy unit, before removing that model from play, pick one enemy unit within 1 inch of the model and roll the number of dice equal to the wounds characteristic of the slain model. Add 1 to the number of dice you roll if the slain model has the Thunderstrike keyword. For every 6+, the target suffers 1 mortal wound at the end of that phase.
At the end of the phase. So you could roll right away and then put a marker down. But even then you're rolling, what, 9 dice?
10 because they are Thunderstrike.
Ooh, so 1, 6. That shark is dead. That shark is...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dead. 1, 2.
No, you have to pick... You have to pick
I
one
get
unit.
that. I'm just saying that was
Yep.
6 of them.
Did you really?
Yes, I rolled 6 6s.
You never...
I know.
That doesn't happen like when you're going against a Maw Crusher or something like that, does it? No.
No, I can't tell you how many times I've rolled and it's nothing. Not 1
You
6.
needed 1 and you got 6.
Take that, shark.
He exploded huge.
He exploded.
Battle Shock. I don't have any units that lost anything that are still around. You have an 8 bravery, so there's nothing there with battle shock. So now let us go with points. And you do control more objectives than I do, so you'll get that 1 point.
Plus, I controlled this one for 2.
No, you didn't. This is turn 1.
Oh, for crying out loud.
That's all it is. But you did kill a battle line with a monster, so you get 3 more.
Okay.
So you got 4 points. 4-3, even though these armies points don't really matter. That critical turn 2 priority, which quite honestly, if you win, I'm guaranteeing it's over.
Oh,
1.
you win.
If you would have gone first, is he within range to have them shoot in the hero phase?
Only this one.
Only this one?
Yes.
He is. So you would have had 1 free shot in the hero phase. You could have killed him in the hero phase.
So then hopefully I could have directed all of these and him into the Reavers.
Into the Reavers.
Yes.
Decimated the Reavers. They do have a 5/6 ward. They would have taken care of him. It would have been your turn to come in, and you would have kept a whole turn without him getting into combat.
Right.
By the time he got into combat, it's over. It's over. And that's kind of what you have to do with a really aggressive army. Now, I won. Let's see how it plays out. By the way, I will take priority.
You sure?
Yeah. All right. I am going to call Bring It Down on this one right here with 5 wounds.
Okay.
Heroic action. I'm going to go with Finest Hour. That's my marker for the Finest Hour. Our best day ever, depending upon who you talk to. My spell will be Flaming Weapon.
Okay.
That is a 6. It goes off on a 4.
I will try to dispel
And
that.
you will unbind it. You will unbind
it.
Because everybody always does. Oh, no, 6.
I get to reroll.
Master magic.
Yes.
That had never goes off on me. Ever. That could be huge. 1 extra damage on that weapon would have been great. And that is really it for my hero phase. Tracy got a command point. 5+, putting it on.
My Draconis.
Movement phase. Turn 2. With the tide, Idnith can, in this turn, run and charge or run and shoot. And I'm at +1 to run and charge based upon the ritual. So he popped all the way over here, 3 inches away. And Lotan moved into the middle here just to provide that 12-inch +1 wound bubble all the way around. And he's got the +1 cover bubble. We'll go on to shooting. 4 shots, shooting into that wounded single on that side. 3. This is the Night Haunt dice. Look at the 2 6s with the Night Haunt dice. 3, 2 hit, -1 rend.
Saved 1.
D3, 3 wounds.
Okay, goes
He's
down,
down
to
to
2.
2. Next, I'm going to take all 8 shots from the turtle into him because I have Bring It Down, and that could be a monster. Could be an extra victory point right there.
All right.
Hitting on 3s. Wounding on 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -1 rend.
4s. 3 go through.
3d3 wounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5?
He is dead.
Okay, and he will get to explode.
Oh, at the end of the phase.
Yep. Okay.
Rolling for it, and if he dies,
6s.
he's done at the end of the phase.
Not a 1. I got 6
Oh,
last
the
time
shark,
and not a 1.
let's see.
That's how it goes. Unit of 4.
You're going to all out defense the unit of 4. You have 3 command points. I have 2. This shark is going to shoot it into the unit of 4. 2 wound, -1 rend.
This one needs 4.
This will kill one.
Oh, it does.
He is dead, and it did a total 1 wound. That killed him. I'm going to roll to see if that storm drake explodes on that shark.
6s. For 1.
For 1, he goes down to 2 wounds left. All 20 shots into the unit of 4. They're all within 9 inches, just barely on the outside we measured. So that'll be 40 shots at 2, 3, -1, 1. 40 dice, the hits and the misses. Ended up with 18 wounds.
These are all out defense, so these are 3s to save.
So 9.
9.
9 kills 1. She took 1 out right there. See if he explodes and kills this shark. Shark is dead.
1, 6.
I have 1 charge with the Killing King. He easily gets in. And the turtle. It's +1 to charge this turn with the ritual. I rolled a 5, so he's in also. There's the turtle. All this wings and big turtle. Luckily they pop off, so he's in there. The Killing King on a 2+ does D3 impact mortals. He takes 2 mortals.
Okay.
Now we're going to see the Killing King at his work, and this is where he's getting this, I think, justified and earned bad reputation. And that is the Achillean King in High Tide is just a tear. If you give him the command trait Unstoppable Fury. And what it is, during High Tide, every enemy unit within 3 inches adds +2 to his attacks characteristic. So, since there are 2 separate units within 3 inches, he gets +4 attacks on everything other than his mounts. Because once again, artifacts and command traits do not apply to mounts. But he has 2 swords that are going to get +4 attacks. The one is very scary. His bladed polearm, when he charges, is -3 rend, 3 damage. It's not 4 damage because you got rid of the flaming weapon. But then on his war scroll, he gets to pick D3 units within 12 inches of him and have them affected by High Tide during other tides.
Right. Once per game, right?
Once per game. Now there's some debate. If you have multiple Achillean Kings, do they each get to use it? I think the wording is you don't, but Adepticon and other people are saying it is. We think that'll be FAQ'd, but don't bring more than one of these guys. That's just a recommendation. I rolled and there was 2 units are affected by High Tide. That's normally reserved to turn 3. I will pick him and the turtle. Since it's my turn, they're going to fight first at the start of the combat round. And in the regular combat round, I get to pick a unit. So I will basically have 3 of these 4 units go first. Does that explain that, you think, pretty well?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Tracy's done a very good job at minimizing this by he's only near 2 units within 3 inches. Now that ability of the Achillean King is at the end of the charge phase, so I chose to do that first. Now we'll go through monstrous rampages. I have the 1, and of course the turtle will use his monstrous rampage that he has -3 rend. It's the Noddler monstrous rampage. He is hunters, and that's it. You killed the other 2 hunter sharks.
I will go ahead and roar the Achillean King, which he's roared.
Which is huge.
And then I will stomp over here, which it does not go up. Oh yeah, it does. That's a 3.
No, he has 1 wound. Are you sure you didn't want to kill him?
Oh, I forget
combat.
that they're not monsters.
Oh, Tracy stomped and she picked over here. We just said that dice roll counted for right here. He has 1 wound left,
Yeah,
so you
so he
killed him.
does.
That would have been the right pick, yes.
Yes.
So you're going to all out defense?
Yes, I will. I'll
Does make
defend
sense
my
right now.
unit of 3 here.
Because he does have Finest Hour, which will give him a +1 save if you attack back. He's already getting the save from the turtle, and he's already getting the +1 from Lotan, so that doesn't help. But so he's 7 attacks at 2/2 -3/3. That's his first attack with a bladed polearm. That is because it's High Tide. He has Unstoppable Fury, and he charged.
Okay.
They all hit. 6 of them wound at -3 rend.
So these are 5s. And they all go through.
18 wounds. They have 9 wounds apiece. 1 is left with 3.
3, yeah. So these 2 die.
Well, he does get +4 attacks on his Falcon. It is 2/2 no rend 1.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at no rend.
These are 2s. And
One
one
wound.
goes through.
Fangs and Talons at 3/2 -1d3. I do not get the extra attacks because it doesn't apply to the mount, and I don't get the +1 to hit because it doesn't apply to the mount. So on 3/2, the +1 to wound does apply, -1.
So 3s. Saved.
Lashing Tails at 3 attacks at 3/2 no rend 2. They all hit. They all wound, no rend.
Okay. 2s. And 2 go
Oh,
through.
there's 4 wounds.
So that kills him.
That kills him.
And that will be game.
And then he would get to attack next. You'd explode other than that, but you basically would end up with your 2 little heroes, a Knight Draconis and the Aether Wings.
Yeah, they're not enough to do enough damage to save the game.
Not
So
at
that
all.
would have been it. So yeah.
All right, so yeah, if you'd have won priority, you'd have won. And if I'd have won priority, I'd have won.
Yeah, that's kind of how this goes.
And we'll talk about that in a post game.
All right.
That's the way it plays out every time.
What I said
One or
was
the other.
whoever wins turn 2 priority is winning. And because if she would have won, definitely, I was gone. The Achillean King is tough, but you would have kept him out of combat that entire turn.
Yeah.
You would have come in, he wouldn't have been in. Yes, the turtle's scary, but the turtle alone can't do it when and I wouldn't have been able to shoot with the Reavers because it would have been your turn.
Right.
So they wouldn't have been able to take
So I would
somebody
have had
down.
more dragons on the
So
table.
with that, you would have basically, the same way at the end of the game, how it played out, you had the Knight Draconis and a couple of guys. I would have had the Achillan King, half a group of Reavers, and Lotan.
I think your turtle would have clung on, but
It would have, but if you could have somehow gotten rid of the other ones, the turtle's got a 2+ save. It's turn 2, so he's not in cover. He does not get his own save buff
right.
because he's got too many wounds for that.
So he has a 4.
He's got a 2+ save.
Oh, he has a regular 2.
Regular 2+ save at brackets.
Oh.
But if you just shot him and hit him with the mortal wounds and drop that down, now he starts becoming susceptible.
Right. Yes.
So that game, when we played Iron Jaws in them, it came down to turn priority. We had an opportunity kind of to meet with some people that are involved with the game. We got a wonderful opportunity. And that was the number one thing that I stressed when I had any input whatsoever was, right now there's so much damaging, killing armies in the game.
Just hammers.
And and so much mortal wound output. And that the saves, the durability in this meta is decreasing, and therefore too many games are decided at the beginning of turn 2. We're both fans of priority roll. So that we're not talking about against priority roll, because if there was no priority roll, we would have known I would have won because I'd have gone next.
Right. Right.
So right now in the meta, you have to play to potentially win priority. And I think it's too big of a factor. It's one reason why I like Nurgle, and I'm glad to see Nurgle back. And our buddy Dylan from St. Louis did very well with a defensible Stormcast. He went 4-1 at Adepticon. That I think that armies that are being able to stay on the board right now are being able to control a little bit of that priority aspect. My army, the 2 games I lost and 2 of the games I won absolutely came down to priority. The other game I won, it was because it was just an unbalanced army. I could shoot them off the table. But that's my thought about this game. IDK's fun. It's fun. This game didn't showcase it because you move so fast.
Yes.
It wasn't able to showcase
How fast
my
you move,
flexibility
yeah.
and moving across the board and all the movement shenanigans you can do.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Well, in terms of the game, I think it was pretty much we could have written it how it was going to play out. So in terms of that, I love playing the dragons. I love how fast they are. I do like the mortal wound damage that they can do in the shooting phase, but I will tell you it's very swingy. Sometimes I do an amazing job and lots of wounds, and sometimes I'll do 4.
Taking all those sharks to 1 wound apiece was definitely hurting. But for those of you that are interested in playing IDK, it's why I'm saying multiple units of sharks.
Right,
not
because
individual units.
I wasn't able to really eliminate much. I just brought it all down to barely anything. And sharks don't bracket, right?
Not at all.
So it doesn't really matter.
Not at all.
Well, dragons don't either. The storm drake do not. So that was no big deal. But yeah, it was a predictable game. I think it was. I love to play, but it was not. It was not a very strategic game. I don't think.
To a certain extent, whether you're going to go first, go second, how you're going to come in, you set yourself up for the double tremendously well.
Yes, but didn't get that.
And I set myself up for the counter on turn 2, and that's all we really could do.
Yeah.
Other than I got in the corners and split you apart into 2, but then I lose my bubble, so I can't do that too well. You lose your bubble with Gardas, so you don't do that too well. There's some other builds that can't do that.
Yeah.
So I do have 4 more sharks that I haven't painted yet. I'm interested in putting them together to try an 8 shark Foythen build, just for fun. But we'll see how this goes. I think that this is so reliant on priority, and it hits some weaknesses that IDK is going to be a regular at big tournaments, 4-1, 3-2.
I was going to say, you may want to bring up your the 6-inch pylon major handicap that you have.
My first game that I lost was to a brilliant... Benjamin played his Soul Blight brilliantly. Yes, he would fully admit, dice really went his way too. He had 40 zombie, 30 dire wolves. He came in, took all the objectives, then I came in and killed 38 of the zombies, and he ran the other 2, rolled a 5, popped 20 of them back within the objective so I couldn't score. Did the exact same thing the next turn with the other group of 40 zombies, rolled the 5, got them back, When I killed the dire wolves, he rolled them, he got them back. Still think turn 3's coming, I got him. The end of turn 2, I'm in combat across the board. Priority, he wins priority. His entire army can pile in 6 inches. So he retreated all of them 4 inches away. It's turn 3. It's high tide. I get to go first with everything. Not when all of his units are 6 inches away. Because he then, one at a time...
4 inches away.
4 inches away. But they could pile in 6 inches.
Right.
He one at a time, piled them in, and attacked. And then I got to attack back. Piled them in and attacked. And I got to attack back. It was brilliant. With the fact he kept on bringing mass bodies back, and the 6-inch pile-in against IDK hurts us tremendously.
Yeah.
If you can get the sisters have that, daughters of Cain,
Sisters of Slaughter.
Sisters of Slaughter have that. That's going to be a very powerful unit in facing against IDK. So that was just from the one game. The other game, Slans who can dish mortal wounds across the board. You take out the Killing King. And you can't take them out with missile weapons because you have to shoot the closest.
Right.
But mortal wounds, spells get through that rule, and you can take heroes out with spells. So I don't want to play Tzeentch with a Lord of Change, especially one with a mirror, because you can just take the Killing King off the board. And if you do that, my army's not lost, severely hampered, because you just saw what he was able to do. First game we played, I got him into 4 separate units.
This was coming.
So he had +8 attacks on that sword.
Yes,
it was devastating.
devastating.
And that happened a couple times in the tournament, and people just shocked and went, "That he can do that? Yes, he can." So that's it. You good?
Yeah, that was a great game. Thanks for the game, and
We hope to get more.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm Steve,
I'm Tracy.
and we are the Partners at War.
Keep playing.